Hello my friends, and today we're going to talk for a little while about Left 4 Dead 3. Now, while nothing is 100% confirmed or accurate in regards to the status of Left 4 Dead 3, it is safe to assume that it's probably in silent production in Valve headquarters. This is due to the fact that in October of 2012, a top valued Valve employee and writer stated to Eurogamer that Left 4 Dead 3 will indeed be in production at some point down the road. Now that to me, my friends, is very good news. I was a huge fan of 2008's original Left 4 Dead and 2009's amazing sequel Left 4 Dead 2. Now as we know, Left 4 Dead 2 is still very much in production and with content still being revealed and released, including a Left 4 Dead 2 Resident Evil 6 crossover that I'm very excited about. I definitely think that it's justified to talk about Left 4 Dead 3. Now, the Left 4 Dead series has been one of those zombie games that completely helped to revolutionise and put the genre back on the map. Now, Resident Evil is arguably probably the best and most recognisable zombie game in the world. But Left 4 Dead 2 and Left 4 Dead have all contributed to putting the genre on the map as a force to be reckoned with and potentially taking the trophy of best zombie game away from Resident Evil. Now, I'm a fan of both series, and I'm a huge fan, should I say, of the zombie genre in general. Now let's just talk about a little bit about the history of the zombie genre and how this ties in to Left 4 Dead 3. Now, the zombie genre was put on the map in the late 1960s when George A. Romero released the cult classic Night of the Living Dead. Nearly 10 years later, he released Dawn of the Dead. Now, it's Dawn of the Dead that's gone on to completely influence and inspire thousands of zombie related medias, including video games, including movies, including books, and so much more. Now, 2013 has been a huge year for the zombie genre thus far. Not only have we heard the announcement of a Left 4 Dead 2 Resident Evil 6 crossover, we're also seeing the release of World War Z, a movie starring Brad Pitt. But of course, the main zombie related news is always The Walking Dead. Now, The Walking Dead has been dominating our TV screens for 3 years now, and season 3, in my personal opinion, is the best series yet. And of course, with Dead Island Riptide on its way, zombies are very much the in thing right now. Zombies are very much dominating the mainstream media in terms of just about everything, from films to television and of course video games. Now, why do I talk about the history and the second coming of the zombie genre in regards to Left 4 Dead 3? Well, that's quite simple. With the zombie genre completely dominating the world right now, there is no better time for Valve to announce Left 4 Dead 3, and I personally think that they will announce Left 4 Dead 3 at E3 in 2013. Why? Well, just look at the facts. The zombie genre is, as I've just said, completely dominating the world right now. There's no bigger genre in the world than the zombie genre. And right now, combined with the fact that the first-person genre continues to dominate the world, with Halo 4 and Call of Duty Black Ops 2 continuing to have crowded full servers on both the Xbox 360 in the case of Halo, which is of course an Xbox exclusive, and the PS3 for Black Ops 2. And of course, with the Xbox holding Black Ops 2 as well, yeah, you can never be sure of a game in those two titles. So, the first-person genre is dominating the world. The zombie genre is dominating the world. Left 4 Dead 2 is a zombie first-person shooter. Put 2 and 2 together, my friends, and tell me that releasing Left 4 Dead 3 in 2013 is not big money. It is probably the biggest money that you could possibly get, in fact. So Valve, you need to get on that and announce it as soon as possible. So let's just talk about Left 4 Dead 3 and what Valve can do to capitalise on the zombie genre's popularity right now, and how they can improve on their tried and tested concept. Well, in my opinion, Left 4 Dead 2 is probably the best first-person zombie shooter out there. That is until Left 4 Dead 3 comes out. What can they improve on? What can they do to make the genre and their title even better? Their series is already a masterpiece. Let's take it up a notch. What they need to do, guys, in my personal opinion, in Left 4 Dead 3, do not just make it about adding more characters, do not make it just about adding more maps. We need some character development. We need some flawless storylines that make us fall in love with the characters and cry when we lose them. Let's just think about The Walking Dead for a second. In The Walking Dead, the show makes you fall in love with each and every character, and you cry when those characters die. Spoiler alert, my friends, when Shane dies, nobody sees it coming. Even though Shane is the ultimate arsehole, you still cry when he dies. Is that just me? I don't think so. I've got friends that cried when Shane died. Laurie, I wasn't a big fan of Laurie, but I cried at her death. Why? Because her death was absolutely shocking, beyond the point of tears, where I was absolutely hysterical, and I wasn't a big Laurie fan. That is what Left 4 Dead 3 needs to do. Valve need to look at the zombie genre. They need to look at what The Walking Dead is doing to the zombie genre and how they are revolutionising it. And they need to put that emphasis on character development and storyline situations and shocking scenarios that you cannot see coming. And they need to combine that with their epic first-person gameplay. Now, I think that The Walking Dead Survival Instinct that recently came out, I think that's a brilliant game. I know it's not had the best reviews in the world, but I think that they were onto something big, even though it does feel somewhat rushed. That is where Valve can capitalise on. Valve can take the Walking Dead style storylines, the epic character development, the epic storyline scenarios, and they can combine it with the first person gameplay that they are known for. They can add in more special infected, they can add in the awesome maps, the horror aspects, but more importantly, Left 4 Dead 3 is going to be a huge success if, as I just said, they focus on character development. Left 4 Dead is like a movie style game anyway, even to the point where the artificial intelligence is called a director. Left 4 Dead is billed as a movie in terms of its art, in terms of its portrayal, its scenarios, its overall action oriented gameplay. So why not use that tried and tested gameplay model and combine it with the awesome character development and the awesome storyline scenarios? If Left 4 Dead had the epic storylines featured in The Walking Dead in an episodic format, for example, or just to the point where they make you fall in love with the survivors and then make you cry when they kill them off. If Left 4 Dead 3 has the power of The Walking Dead combined with the gameplay of the Left 4 Dead series thus far, I think Valve is going to be onto some serious money, and I think Left 4 Dead 3 could indeed be the greatest zombie game ever made, for the simple fact that combined with the stories, combined with the gameplay, you're onto money. Now, I want you guys to talk about this for a little while. How do you think Valve can make Left 4 Dead 3 even better? How do you think Valve can make Left 4 Dead 3 even better than their two previous games? They need to do something to set aside themselves from the genre, the rest of the genre, which right now is overcrowded. The zombie genre fell dormant for a couple of years, then sprung back to life without warning, thanks to Left 4 Dead, and of course thanks to The Walking Dead. Left 4 Dead debuted in late 2008, The Walking Dead debuted in late 2010. Since then, both have been dominant forces in the zombie genre. Now, I'm not suggesting a partnership between Valve and The Walking Dead to produce a zombie game with the storylines of The Walking Dead combined with the gameplay of Left 4 Dead, even though I completely love that game, and I'm sure many other people would too. But what I am suggesting is Valve needs to delve deeper into the movie side of the zombie genre and the television side of the zombie genre. Dawn of the Dead was renowned for its epic storyline, its epic character development, just as The Walking Dead is now 30 years later. So, in short, my friends, Valve is onto some serious money if they add the epic character development and the epic storyline scenarios from movies such as Dawn of the Dead and TV shows such as The Walking Dead. If they combine the storyline elements, the character development elements, with their tried and tested gameplay style, they are onto some serious money, and I think Left 4 Dead 3 could indeed potentially go down as the greatest zombie game of all time. So my friends, what I want you guys to discuss as we summarise is, how do you think Valve can make Left 4 Dead 3 better? And do you think that Left 4 Dead 3 could be the greatest zombie game of all time if they add emphasis on character development and storyline scenarios, the heartbreaking storylines such as those featured in The Walking Dead? As always, my friends, I look forward very much to reading your thoughts and your opinions on the potentially impending Left 4 Dead 3 that could be revealed as soon as E3 in 2013. As always, my friends, thumbs up, subscribe, comment and enjoy.